of your primary responsibilities as a leader is to actively take the lifelong journey of self-mastery. That means that you're not just focused on getting the best out of your team or your business. You're also focused on being the best leader that you can be. And there are really 5 rather courageous steps that you could take in order to do this. The starting point in any learning journey really is to develop your self-awareness. And we have a number of ways of doing this. Developing self-awareness is about becoming clear on where does the growth need to take place. So as a leader, your sources of information are quite varied. You can get some information or feedback, if you like, from the people that you work with. I often use 360-degree feedback instruments to help my clients get some feedback. I have a particular favorite called Feedback Rocket. It's an online instrument that enables you to get feedback from your team, your peers, your manager, and compare it with your self-assessment. So that's one way of growing your self-awareness. I rather like using personality profiles because our personalities often have little quirks that may have worked for us, and some of them no longer work for us. So it's good to get that kind of feedback as well. I like the Enneagram. And then the direct feedback that you as a leader can obtain simply by asking your peers or your subordinates or your superiors even for input on how you show up and how you could improve. So your starting point is self-awareness. Where do you need to grow? How do you need to grow? Having gained some self-awareness, you need to set some goals, which is about reflecting on the feedback that you have obtained. And it's about defining the 1 or 2 or 3 areas of your leadership that you want to work on now. It's not really helpful to debate the feedback. You asked for the feedback. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? Let's say that you received feedback that your meetings are deathly dull and boring. It doesn't really matter that you intend for them to be exciting. The fact is, your people experience them as dull and boring. So setting a goal would be around how can you redesign your meetings and how can you chair your meetings in such a way that people find them stimulating and rewarding and look forward to attending them. Let's say that your feedback has given you a number of areas that you need to work on. To my mind, it's not particularly helpful to be working on a shopping list of areas. It's far more beneficial to decide on where are you going to start? Which goal would you regard as the most beneficial one to achieve in order to make a real impact in the short term? You can then move on to your other goals at a later time. Any learning journey requires that you get some assistance. It could be in the form of books that you read. It could be in the form of podcasts that you listen to. It could be that you work with your coach. The point is that your feedback has given you the awareness that you need to work on something. Your intentions are to be doing that thing well. So who or what could help you to achieve the learning goal that you've set yourself? Having obtained some assistance and having done some learning, it's really important that you start to experiment with new behaviors, new ways of doing things, new tools, new techniques. This can feel contrived, but the point is that you're wanting to achieve a particular goal, and that means that you need to experiment with new behavior. Having experimented with that new behavior, it's important to take the time to reflect. What worked? What didn't work? What was different this time around? Are you happy with the way things are going? What will you do next time? Having done the work to achieve the learning objective that you had set for yourself, it's important for you to find out how you did. The temptation is to ask your manager how you did. But let me tell you, your boss is absolutely not the best person to give you feedback on your leadership. The people who can give you the most reliable feedback about your leadership are actually your team members. And those are the people that you need to ask for feedback. I feel quite strongly that one of the most important characteristics of the true leader is the willingness to request feedback and the ability to respond appropriately to feedback from people who report to you.